Welcome to my channel, the Canine Code. You reach down to pet your dog's head. It's automatic. You've done it 1,000 times. Your dog tolerates it, maybe even leans in slightly, and you think everything's fine. But what if that simple gesture, the one you thought showed love, is actually creating distance between you and the animal who trusts you most? Subscribe to the channel because what trainers have discovered about head petting will completely change how you touch your dog. Number 1. The flinch you've been missing. Watch your dog's face the next time your hand comes down from above. There's a micro movement most owners never notice. A barely perceptible tightening around the eyes. A fractional backward tilt of the skull. Research from canine behavioral scientists shows that dogs experience overhead motion as a dominance gesture. Something hardwired from thousands of years of pack hierarchy, where a superior animal would place weight or pressure on a subordinate head and neck. Your dog isn't enjoying that pat on the head. They're enduring it. Their parasympathetic nervous system actually shifts into a mild stress response when they see your hand descending from above. Even when they know and love you, the pupils dilate slightly. The breathing pattern changes. Cortisol levels measurably increase in dogs subjected to repeated overhead touching. According to studies on canine stress responses, your dog has learned that this is what humans do, that this is the price of your affection, so they hold still and accept it. But acceptance isn't the same as comfort, and tolerance isn't the same as trust. Every time your hand comes down on top of their head, you're asking them to suppress an instinct that says they're being controlled. Number 2. What your dog's body is actually telling you. Pay attention to what happens after you pet your dog's head. Do they shake the way they would after getting out of water? That full body shake isn't random. Ethologists have documented this as a stress release behavior, a physical reset that dogs use to discharge tension after an uncomfortable interaction. Your dog is literally shaking off the experience of being touched in a way that makes them uneasy. Studies published in applied animal behavior journals show that dogs who are head petted by strangers display what researchers call calming signals, a suite of behaviors that include lip licking, yawning, averting their gaze, and turning their heads away. These aren't signs of relaxation, they're appeasement gestures. The dog's way of saying they're not a threat and hoping the interaction will end soon. Even with owners they adore, many dogs display these same subtle signals during head petting, though in muted form. The bond you share makes them more willing to endure it, but their nervous system is still registering it as something to be tolerated rather than enjoyed. Watch where your dog moves after you finish petting their head. Do they step back slightly? Do they redirect to sniffing the ground or looking away? They're creating space, resetting the interaction, trying to move past a moment that felt invasive, even though they know you meant well. Number 3. The evolutionary weight of overhead touch in the wild. Social structures that shaped your dog's ancestors. Having another animal's weight or presence above your head meant subordination. Wolfpack studies from behavioral ecologists show that dominant animals regularly use spatial positioning and physical contact from above to reinforce hierarchy. A higher-ranking wolf might rest its chin on a lower-ranking wolf's shoulders or neck. They might pin another wolf briefly during play that's actually about establishing order. The gesture communicates control, not affection. Your dog's brain still carries this ancient mapping. When your hand comes down on their head, particularly in that palm-down pressing motion so many owners use, you're activating neurological pathways that interpret the touch as a dominance display rather than a love gesture. This doesn't mean your dog thinks you're trying to dominate them in the aggressive sense. The human-dog bond has evolved past simple pack hierarchy, but the physiological response remains. Their body tenses slightly because 10,000 years of domestication haven't erased the deeper, older response to being touched from above. Studies on canine cognition show that dogs distinguish between different types of human touch, and overhead contact consistently ranks as less preferred than lateral or under-the-chin contact, even when the duration and pressure are identical. Number 4. What trainers see that you don't. Professional dog trainers learn to read micro-expressions that most owners miss completely. When they watch someone pet a dog's head from above, they're observing the whites of the eyes becoming visible as the dog tracks the descending hand. A response called will that signals discomfort or stress. They notice the ears pulling back slightly, not in the relaxed way of contentment, but in the tense way of weariness. They see the dog's weight shift backward onto their hunches, a subtle physical withdrawal that happens at the subconscious level. Trainers who work with fearful or reactive dogs know that overhead reaching is one of the fastest ways to trigger a defensive response, which is why they teach strangers to let dogs approach them rather than reaching over the dog's head. Research from veterinary behaviorists shows that a significant percentage of dog bites occur when someone reaches over a dog's head, particularly with dogs who are already anxious or in unfamiliar situations. Your own dog probably won't bite you for head petting because your relationship carries enough trust to override the discomfort. But that doesn't mean the discomfort isn't there. Trainers watching you pet your dog's head see an animal managing their instinctive response rather than receiving genuine pleasure. They see a dog who has learned to accept something that feels intrusive because the alternative is losing your attention entirely. Number 5. The touch your dog actually CRAVs. There's a reason your dog melts when you scratch their chest or stroke the side of their neck. These areas are where dogs naturally groom each other, where touch signals affection rather than dominance. Studies on canine social behavior show that dogs engage in allo-grooming, mutual grooming by licking and nuzzling each other's necks, chests, and ears. These are lateral touches, side-to-side contact that happens between equals or during bonding. When you approach from the side and scratch your dog's chest, you're speaking a language they instinctively understand as affection. Their oxytocin levels rise, the same hormone that bonds mothers to infants and partners to each other. Their heart rate slows into the rhythm of genuine relaxation rather than stress management. The parasympathetic nervous system, which governs rest and repair, activates fully. Your dog's eyes soften, truly soften, in a way they don't during head petting. They lean into your hand with their full weight because this touch feels safe. Research from animal cognition labs shows that dogs preferentially solicit chest and side of neck scratches when given a choice, moving their bodies to redirect human hands away from their heads and toward these preferred zones. Watch what your dog does when you stop petting them. If you've been scratching their chest, they'll often nudge your hand with their nose or paw at you, asking for more. If you've been petting their head, they're more likely to simply walk away. Number 6. The invisible account your dog is keeping. Every interaction with your dog makes a deposit or withdrawal in a trust account you can't see, but they're constantly maintaining. When you respect their physical boundaries, when you touch them in ways that feel good rather than ways that require tolerance, you're depositing safety and understanding. When you repeatedly touch them in ways that trigger their instinctive weariness, even mildly, you're making tiny withdrawals. Your dog doesn't consciously think about this. They don't decide to trust you less, but their nervous system is keeping score. Studies on the neurobiology of trust show that repeated experiences of mild stress during what should be positive interactions create an association between the person and the need for vigilance. Your dog still loves you. They still want to be near you, but there's a subtle layer of tension that doesn't need to be there. A tiny holding back that comes from thousands of moments where they had to override their instincts to receive your affection. The profound thing is how easily this reverses. Trainers who teach owners to switch from head petting to chest scratching and underchin rubs report that dogs become noticeably more relaxed and affectionate within days. The change isn't dramatic because the damage wasn't dramatic, but it's real. Your dog starts to seek out touch more readily. They hold eye contact longer. They position themselves closer to you during rest. The invisible tension dissolves because you've started speaking their language instead of asking them to translate yours. Number 7. The moment everything changes. There will come a day when you're sitting with your dog and you reach out without thinking. Your hand moves toward their head in that old automatic pattern. Then you catch yourself. You redirect your hand to their chest instead, scratching in slow circles the way they actually love. And in that moment, you'll see something in your dog's eyes. Not relief exactly, because it's subtler than that. Recognition, maybe a softness that says you finally understand what they've been trying to tell you all along. This is what the science and the training and the observation all build toward. This small moment of change behavior that transforms every interaction that follows. When you stop petting your dog's head from above and start touching them the way their biology and their social instincts actually want to be touched, you're not just making them more comfortable. You're showing them that their subtle communications matter, that you're paying attention to what they need rather than what you assume they want. Share this with someone who loves their dog. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching my video. Take care.